Hi, welcome to Exercise for Beginners, where I teach you where to get started if you've never really started before. This week we're going to do part 3 of our hip and glute exercises. First exercise up for today is going to be a glute bridge march. I'm sure a lot of you are familiar with glute bridges. A march is very similar. You're going to go up into a glute bridge. You're going to hold that position. All right, then you're going to lift that leg up, come back down, up, down, up, down. You're just going to keep going back and forth. You can do this for time or for reps, doesn't matter. Okay, after your glute bridge marches, from here you're going to grab a yoga block if you have one. You could also use several books and stack them up to about 4 to 6 inches. I think 6 is a little bit better, personally. My yoga block, I think, is only 3, and that's a little thin. So minimum 4, preferably 5, 6. You want a little bit of height on this one. So for this is a hip shift. So you're going to place your knee, so let's say our left knee, on top of the yoga block. All right? Hands are on the floor. What you're going to do here is you're going to drop your hip so that your knee falls to the floor, and you're going to push in with the hip that is on the block, right? So you're going to push into the block to lift the other knee. That's actually going to activate the glute that's on the block, not the one that's floating. So the one that's floating, yes, is doing the shifting, but the one that is on the block is the one doing the work. This is great for your hip mobility. It's also actually pretty good for low back mobility as well. So it can be kind of a tough movement to get down, but once you'll get it, you'll kind of feel that glute kind of kick into gear a little bit. That's the best way I can describe it. And when you feel it, you know. Sometimes at first it feels clunky. You know, it's very gunk, gunk, gunk. And then over time, as things loosen up, it starts to feel smoother. So just bear in mind. For our next 2 exercises here, you're going to need a mini band, a glute band. You're going to place that band above the knees. All right, this is going to be for the next 2 exercises. All right, so for the first one, it is a lateral band walk. So I'll step side to side here so you can see. Lateral just means side to side. All right, so you're going to go into not a whole squat, but you do want some soft knees here. You're going to step side to side. You know, do as many steps as you can in one direction, and then the other. Again, you can do this for reps or for time. If you don't really have a long stretch of space to go, I would just do it for time. Now, some cues with this one. You do want to stay in a little bit of a soft knee, quarter squat position here. It's going to activate your glutes better. You want to try to keep your feet straight forward. All right? We don't want them to be flared out, like our toes to be flared out, super angled. Straight forward. We want to try and lead with that heel a little bit. When you lead with the heel, you're actually internally rotating your leg a little bit, which is going to activate that glute medius and minimus a little bit better. You need those for internal rotation and extra balance and stuff. So again, by keeping your feet more straightforward, you're internally rotating at the hip a little bit, which is going to activate those rotators, glute medius and minimus, a little bit better, giving you more stability in the long run. All right, from here, we're going to go into a forward and backwards glute walk, band walk. All right, so same position, knees about hip distance apart, quarter squat here, a little bit of a hinge at the hip. And this is a very stiff movement, all right? We're only moving at like the feet. So I don't want you to be rocking back and forth too much. Nice. and steady. You see my feet very toe, heel, heel, toe, heel, toe, heel, toe, heel, toe. Toe, heel, very smooth, right? Not moving too much. Something to bear in mind here. I do see people, when I give it to them, they're rocking back and forth quite a bit. They don't have all that core stability. Squeeze nice and tight. That's what we're working on here. Yes, it's for glutes, it's for your hips, but it is also for your core. All right, they do work together. All right, there's those next two. Okay, last but not least, you're going to take that mini band, you're going to place it around the tops of your feet. You're going to lie down, and we're going to do some banded hip flexions. We've done some different type of hip flexions. This one, bands around your feet. You want to make sure your low back is against the floor. You're going to pull up towards your hip. So knee aligned with hip and back. Hip, back. We do want to keep our feet kind of wide. So you want to try and keep them hips distance apart. And we're activating that hip flexor. Try not to let that knee cave in. Don't want this. Knee to outside of the hip. And do your best to keep your foot flexed, not plantar flexed. You want it dorsiflexed. All right, that's going to help you keep the band on your foot. All right, there are your 5 exercises for today. Thank you for joining me this week on Exercise for Beginners. Subscribe to my channel if you're looking for more content about where to start in the comforts of your home. Thank you. Have a good one.